Greetings, YouTube. Mark Clover from Creative Mountain Games was nice enough to gift me a product recently. And I said I'd give it a review and then do a review of said product. And he said it was a gift. He didn't require a review, but he would appreciate it. Now, the item in question is a series of useful charts. And the charts use the die 30. Now, this is a die 30. Okay, it's different shape than your standard die, and I've had this particular die for a very long time. I think I got it in like 80 or 82, so I've had this for quite a while. And when this die was produced, we didn't have a use for it. Literally, there was nothing to do with this die. I think it was originally produced simply because it was more than a die 20, which I thought was kind of cool. And eventually someone produced a random set of charts, and I think I've got them somewhere in my collection, which was just to help a GM come up with random information, and it all used that, and I just got a 22, which is, more than a die 20 would produce. So, in the spirit of coming up with useful charts, Mike Clover and his company have produced this series. Now, this is a 34-page document. It is 30 things can happen from Creative Mountain Games, which can be found at creativemountaingames.com. And it is a set of categories with subcategories. So, for example, we have while in a city, and then there's a number of charts under that, for example, at the gate, on the street, in the alleys and slums, in a tavern, at the market, at the arena or lists. A list is where people have combat who are consenting. An arena is where people then have combat when they aren't consenting. And each list is broken into three 10 option settings. So it's 1 die 10, up to 1 die 20, or up to 1 die 30. So in the event you don't have a die 30, you could roll on each individual subsection with a die 10, or use the first two with a die 20. And a lot of these, I think, can be used on the fly, particularly at the ones for at the gate. You see your GM, you got people walking up the gate, you roll your die, you look at it. But I think some of these in this product would be much better suited to idea generators. So when a GM is sitting like, oh, crap, I got a game in an hour and I haven't thought of anything for tonight, I was busy today. And then they can sit down for a moment, roll some dice, and come up with some ideas that they may want to think about for a few minutes before they put into play. So some of these I think are very good as on the fly, and I think some of them would be better used by the GM to think about a little bit so they can come up with some kind of just basic detail, like a few names, maybe some quick connection concepts before using them. Other categories in this are while in the country and like in an unusual terrain, on a farm, at a festival. And there's a section which is going to be loved by everybody who's ever done a dungeon crawl, while underground, at the entrance, in a narrow passage, by a stairway, near a stream, in a pit, and lastly, finding a treasure. I didn't read every single line in this, I'll be honest. But what I did read is top-notch. It very much provides exactly what the product says it is, and it's a really good product for getting the gears going. If you're a GM and you need to get something, you've got a little writer's block going on there, this will help move you forward. And that's always really, really useful to a GM. So, if you are a fan of the D30, and who isn't, because they're just cool, and you are a fan of having ideas helped along by someone else's thought process, this product is for you. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate the gift, and I hope that other people will go out and get a chance to check out what Creative Mountain Games has produced.